McClellan here with Fit Mission Makeup. I'm going to show you how we can take those under eyes, and are we adding hydration? Are we seeing color under eyes? How are we changing these? We're gonna master that. We're gonna work on that right now, so stay tuned. All right, rolling this out. So key thing to pay attention to with under eyes, and you're actually gonna see it with my model too, is moisturizer, okay? Hydrating under eyes is huge. Now, we have to be careful if we're hydrating with an oil. We have to be careful too, depending on our makeup, for which one really works with it. And you're gonna see that with if you're seeing separation or the two just don't work together, you're gonna see that and you're gonna know. So I love either SEINT cream or layers. The reason why I like these two is because when I put these on ever so thin, when I go in there thin and light, like that was a lot, so I'm actually gonna remove some. After I look in the mirror, I can see a change in my skin. It's that lactic acid that's really working on things. So this one doesn't say lactic acid, this one says probiotic, this one's for layers. And we can link the links for these below too. I also have the links for layers. Where did I put that link? Oh, it's in my stories on Instagram. Okay, and then this one's from SEINT. You seriously are gonna pump it just the teeniest, tiniest bit amount, and you're not even gonna use all of that, but it will still stay good. And also, P.S., I don't use both. I'm just showing you. So I like to hone in right in here on me. You're gonna see where I hone in with my model, because ours is a little bit different than mine too, because we all wrinkle differently, but we need to get the skin hydrated. Now, sunscreens can also be a massive helper, but depending on our face too, like let's say we have more oily skin. So I have a sunscreen that's really good for oily skin. I have a guide on my blog that I have tried so many days sunscreens for you. I have it whittled down to like, I don't know, six sunscreens or so that are for normal to dry skin and then oily skin, that they can help act as a primer for your skin. So this one is one that does not cost mustard at all. This is an oil control, it says moisturizer. So, but because I get oily on my cheeks and my chin, this is the one that I put on, but it makes my face look dry as well, where I am more dry. Somebody's being naughty. I'm gonna skin my forehead just because it's under a hat today, but, okay, and you see how I'm patting it? It's not because I put it, you need to get your sunscreen on evenly. And yes, I'm patting it because I just like to make sure I'm just pressing it into that skin. Now, when I put on this sunscreen though, this starts to look like it's more dry. So you can do a couple things. It needs to have that time to absorb, but moisturizer with a mineral sunscreen has to happen first, and then it has to have time to absorb in. But because I only put my moisturizer right under my eyes, I didn't put it on my whole entire face, that can make it, that's like that difference too. So make sure you give time in between. With a cream foundation though that I'm using, we don't have to hydrate the skin so much like we have to when we're doing a liquid. So I don't put moisturizer all over my whole entire face before I apply, because I have areas that are dry, but I have areas that are definitely not to go more oily. So if I'm moisturizing, sunscreening, and if I am then putting on makeup, my cream foundation, I'm gonna be like, oh crap, there's a lot. Okay, under eyes, foundation, makeup. Now for me, my under eyes are just right in here. I do have a little bit of discoloration. You can see that. I do have a little bit of discoloration that comes in here, but it's really truly stronger right in here, okay? And so what colors do we see? We definitely see a purple. We definitely see a blue. So for me, I'm gonna show you two different methods today. SEINT has what's called the demi correctors, and they are these guys right here. So they're like literal colors that are across, they are opposite of the color wheel. And I'm going to be going in with that today with you so that you can see those, but they are my favorite and they work so well for my skin. But my model, we actually feel that for her, just using, holy cow brushes, where are you? Just using the 3D foundation for her is boss. Okay, so I'm gonna take where it is more purple right in here, I'm gonna take this yellow color and I'm barely going to press my brush into it. Like I can kind of see there's color on there, but I really can't. And I'm only hitting that color where it's needed. If I go outside of that color, then I'm doing myself a disservice. So you are only allowed to hit that color where the color is actually needed, okay? Okay, so I take that yellow and I come in to, now that's too much. See how you see it so strong? So I just knock off the rest off my hand. If you see it strong, the goal is to not see any product, and you literally just work it only on the area that needs it. Don't just start randomly fanning out. Now see how that's disappearing? If you just start randomly fanning out, you're not taking care of your eyes correctly. And I have more tutorials for this. I have a troubleshooting video in with just my customers. That live that I did last week, I think it was, has information on it too. And I did a class with just my customers too that we went under eyes. Now, below that is blue. And so I'm gonna take O1, because I have more fair skin. And I'm gonna just hit that under part that's blue, okay? Now, look at how that is just totally neutralizing that out. It makes such a huge difference. Okay, now the rest of my under eye, like it's kind of sort of, it has some things, and yeah, I could touch, see right here where I really didn't do anything, but my foundation, my makeup is gonna be just fine for that. So let me put on my makeup really quick like. So my sunscreen already acted like a primer, so my skin is prepped, ready to go. I'm gonna do some bronzer right here. And I need to pop a little bit right there, because I actually have a giant melasma. That darker area, I can show you a trick with that too, but that's for another day. That's actually melasma. Okay, then I'm gonna take my foundation and I'm going to come ever so softly. Now you're gonna see me be more sporadic, because what I'm doing is I'm truly addressing the areas that really just need makeup. And the areas that really don't, why do it? Leave it alone. Okay, so since I already took care of that whole under eye, I'm just coming up right next to it with my foundation. And so what I did though, was I just leveled out that playing field. Okay, so I just needed to take care of that inside really, really well. And then I leveled out the rest of that playing field. Okay, I'm gonna take my color corrector. Do I still need a color corrector even though I did my under eyes with the demi corrector? Yes. Okay, now noses, if you have bigger pores, swirl it softly, okay, so that you're getting into those pores with your color corrector, and then press to finish it out. And the more you touch your nose, the more it could turn red. So if it is turning really red, leave it alone for a second, go to something else. Okay, then I'm doing down my main foundation, and I'm brightening along here because my skin is lighter along here. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of blush and apply. See how simple that was? And we have our under eye. Okay? Now, look how neutralized the under eye is. Now, I made sure that I only put makeup where it was truly needed. So you saw me kind of like literally go like this, because what I do is I'm like, okay, where do I still see pigmentation that I want to neutralize out? I'm not just popping and like praying for the best. Like, oh, I'm literally like, hey, okay, this looks a little uneven skin. And I'm truly just being patient and putting it where it needs to go, okay? So that's how we're gonna do my under eyes, which if that is how you feel that can help you, then you're good to go there. Now, I'm gonna bring to you somebody else that has way different under eyes than me, different skin, different age, much different age, about 20 years different. And we're gonna do things a little bit differently. So I did the demi correctors on the inside, and then I did the foundation, the same 3D foundation, still same makeup line, across throughout. All right, T, you ready? Yep. Okay, so this is Tiara, she is my assistant, and I'm like, well, both of us were like, wait, why haven't I done, oh, you got a book. Why haven't I done this to you? Okay, bring this on out, because maybe we're early. All right, So this is T, my lovely assistant.
Hi guys.
So on this side of her face, so T, how do you like to wear makeup?
Minimally to none.
Minimally to none. Okay, which is, comment if that is how you feel. Okay, so minimally to none, you don't really want to have much on. So she likes mascara, and she likes to make sure her brows are nice and clean. But really and truly, she doesn't want to wear much makeup at all. I'm right here. She doesn't want to wear much makeup at all. So with T, the goal for this though is because of her genetics, they have darker under eyes. Okay, so all we did was truly try to focus on the under eyes and not do much else. I added blush to her cheek, but that is all I did. We haven't added in any bronzers, we haven't added contours. It's like, how does T like to wear her makeup? And do you see how lifted this eye looks? Okay, this is seriously minimal makeup that we use. But what we did is first I did it all natural. So I'm gonna show you, like if T just wanted to go out for the day, not look like she has makeup on at all, these are the things we would do. All right, T, tell them how you feel that your skin is under your eyes.
Pretty thin.
Look right there.
I feel like my skin under my eyes is pretty thin. I do sometimes deal with dryness, so I'll get dry patches sometimes in there. Just depends on the year though, or time of year.
Yeah. And so how would you describe your texture of your skin?
Very textured. I don't have smooth skin. I have kind of bumps. Was it Amelia?
I don't
know if it's
full
that,
but you just have.
I have texture.
You have texture for sure. Okay, so hi. So our goal with Tiara is I'm going to neutralize this color out right here. Now I want to show you if I can get this to come back in. Okay, so what we did with her is she uses more than one foundation color. Is this because the coloring that there isn't a color for her? No, not necessarily. Now Tiara is one that she'll just like dab here, and shove it on her face. But I'm even gonna teach Tiara a method today, and we're gonna teach you a method today too. So the biggest thing that I want you to pay attention to skin is where you are going to see how she's a little bit darker. Yep, you can tell. Okay, see how she has this little darker spot right there. She has a warmer nose, okay? And then she has the darker under eyes right in there. Okay, so with Tia, when you have a darker area on your face, then her skin is actually pretty light right in here. You can naturally see that. Like, look at the coloring here versus her chin. They're not the same. So if I have somebody who has that coloring within their face where it's not the same, why put an all over foundation? One would say, well, then I'll just put it on a foundation that matches this. Well, then what happens when Tiara puts that foundation here? It's gonna crack, and within the day, it's gonna crack and it's gonna feel like it maybe washed out, like she's not gonna like it. So why put one all over foundation that isn't matching something, right? And then she also has a darker chin compared to her neck. So I would never want to put an all over foundation on Tiara because we can be so customized to her, okay? So with Tiara, we have, so this color is Sandy. Yeah, this color is amber. We're not gonna use that. This color that is yellow is sunlit, which I don't even use on very many people. Okay, this color is goddess, and this color is mango. So this might wear you out because this is actually 4, and I normally do not color match to 4. But the reason I'm gonna show you this today is because this can be something that benefits you mentally in the makeup game, and my job is to always educate you. Now, you do not have to be matched to 4 colors. Tiara likes to literally just like dab and throw on her face and key things. The reason why I brought in this one is because this guy is just gonna brighten up one teeny spot on Tiara's face. But depending on the time of year, her coloring fluctuates in between these 3 colors right here. Okay, let me put these in order from lightest to darkest. Okay, so Tiara's skin fluctuates, and she's always changing in between these 3, because that's her skin. And that's how all of us are, right? Especially if you're, dude, she can walk outside and come walk inside and already has a tan. She gets tan so easy. I, on the other hand, do not. I fluctuate pretty much in between one that I can like dab another color with it. Okay, so with Tiara, we have a teeny tiny brush. Now I can go a little bit bigger with her too. This is a brand new clean wash brush. Okay, this is dirty from her face. And this is brand new fresh makeup. So I can go a little bit bigger with her, but because I want Tiara to look like she has really nothing on her face, I'm gonna take this teeny tiny brush and I'm gonna look at her and I'm gonna be like, okay, what can I put right there? And that right there is mango. So I'm just gonna come in here and let me zoom you in, if I can. Okay, so I'm gonna come right here and I'm just gonna take this mango and I literally grab the tiniest bit because my goal is for this to make it look like she has nothing on her face, because all I'm doing is neutralizing out that color with the color that is of that skin right there. Okay, but this was lighter than this. So that's what we have to pay attention to as well. Whenever somebody says, well, what do I do with my under eyes because they're so dark? I will never, ever, ever tell you to put the same color or like a brightening color that you would put in here. I will never tell you to have that be the color under your eyes, because what's gonna happen throughout the day is that you are going to end up hating what this looks like because it's all gonna move because you put a lighter color over top of that. So the Goddess, which is one shade darker, so just so you know, I put this little guy right on that spot next to her on her cheek. This little guy is gonna be what's gonna go under her eye in a very key spot, and it's going to blend in with it. So I look at her under eye and I don't say, okay, well my whole under eye is dark, because look, she has nothing that's dark here. She only has this here. And I'm just going to, that's even too much. See how, no, you can't probably see it. Can we zoom in just a bit more? Yeah, we can. Okay, so you see that the makeup is kind of sitting there. So I needed to take off any excess off my brush because I do not want any of that color to extend outside of that darkness right in there. So I'm keeping that dark color only on that spot, and look how it just neutralized out. So Tiara's face is now, the eye, you would not see any makeup on Tiara right now. This literally looks like skin. Tiara, what does this look like? Does it look like skin to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Can you see makeup?
Nope.
Okay, see that? Now, so when we come in, so on this eye, she did have creasing right there. One thing that Tiara could literally just do is go like that, and it's gonna like the friction from your fingers and the warmth of your fingers. If you go like that with a cream foundation, it just softens it out. Okay, but on this eye too, she has that texture in her skin. Because she has the texture and the dryness in her skin, that's where that creasing also came into play. But it's easy to just press with your finger with a cream foundation. Does it mean that the foundation sucks? No. It just means she's got texture on her skin, she's asking for a lighter color in it. The more makeup you put on the under eyes, the more that it's gonna show up. So I'm gonna take a dab of that sandy color and a dab of that yellow color that's called Sunlit. And so this is, if I was Tiara going out for my day, I would leave it at that. Okay, so if we're doing nothing that makes her look like makeup, but she now has everything neutralized out, and it's gonna make her lots happier. Now this shows up just a little bit right there, but I know I already color corrected that in a way, so I'm gonna just press a little bit of sandy and a little bit of that Sunlit right in here. Now that's like softening it out very carefully and slowly so that we're getting the least amount of makeup in that spot. Now again, she has the texture in her skin, and our goal is to not look like she has makeup. If I put makeup on her thick, you will see every ounce of texture, even more so in her skin. That's mango that I have on my brush right here, the same color that I did right down here. Now, another way to make this stand out and neutralize this with Tiara is to take the teeniest, tiniest amount of blush and just barely, and this is sandstone, so I'm just warming up her cheek a little bit so that she has a little bit of like flush. Now look what that just did. and she looks completely natural within her look. So when Tiara leaves, she feels so natural. So then she could just take a gloss. Do you want to put some of that?
Sure.
Or I feel like that your lips are so naturally.
I usually mix like either Desert Sunset or Summer Love with Madrid.
Okay, that's Desert Sunset. Oh, I think that's Madrid. Yeah, that's Madrid. Yeah, and now she has a super, super natural look that like Tiara would want to see you. I'm gonna take a little bit of that Madrid. Just to add a little pink to your cheeks. So it doesn't look like blush, it just looks a little pink. I'm gonna try something like that. Nope. Okay, so this is mango I just put right there, and that totally shows in all of her cracks. And that just goes to show you how you have to be warmer in areas that like you can't just go and put a lighter color in an area to put a lighter color. Like it has to be a little warmer, okay? Okay, so the goal for Tiara was to have her look extremely natural. The goal for her was to just brighten the key places under eyes, but she has texture. So one last thing that we can do for Tiara, because she knows that she has drier skin, okay? And even though we just put makeup on her, one thing that Tiara can do is take that teeny, it doesn't show, there is a teeny tiny bit of foundation right there. I'm gonna get about that much on my finger, and I'm just gonna press it into that skin. And what that's gonna do is it's actually gonna bring a glow to her face right there. The natural glow that we can give her is going to make that, the light just naturally hit that to make the look softened without even having to brighten it. Now we could brighten it like we did on this side, but this is her, like, I'm going to town, I wanna like completely make it look that makeup is undetected and have nothing else on my face. So you can do either one. Now, since you didn't see how I did her, the natural glow part, or the brightening part, is I took this yellow color on her because she has yellow coloring in here, okay? So I took a dab of the lighter color. So on these areas of her face that's lighter, she'll kind of use this sandy color. So I took a dab of sandy and a dab of the sunlit, just like I do for my face. I take a dab of candlelit and a dab of Versailles. I have the tiniest bit on the tip of my brush, and I'm just gonna come over here to this outer edge, and I'm just gonna kind of fan it out. And then I'm gonna take that same thing, and I'm gonna come to the inner corner of her nose, and I'm going to press this in, and then connect the two.
This is actually how I contour my nose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I already have a darker nose.
Yeah.
And so I just brighten the edges, and then it gives me like a natural contour.
There you go. And then that's how I'm just brightening under her eye a little bit. Okay, and then she has the brightened look under her eye. How's that?
I like it.
Little undetected, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You have the brightening look. Okay, and that is the difference that you can do. Okay, you're good to go.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. Mm-hmm. And that is the difference that you can do. So let's say she wanted to have a drier look under her eye. I have to be honest with you, because of the texturing in her skin, adding a matte, like a powder, she almost needs that glow because she does have the texture in her skin, and that makes a difference for her. So everybody's under eyes are totally different. Real quick, like, this is my finished, this is my not. And I hope that this like gave you kind of a guidance with under eyes too. The goal is to match at the level of the depth of darkness. Now, if it's too green, then if you like have crazy green under eyes, then that's where the correctors, the demi correctors need to come into play. If it's a strong blue, demi correctors need to come into play. If it's a strong purple, you can kind of get away with SEINT 3D foundation with that too, because there's yellow tones within this, but that's the difference in those. But with her, she just had this stronger depth that was just a solid depth. It didn't have a ton of this pigmentation in it, like mine was a strong blue, a strong purple. And that was how I decided I needed more of the 3D foundation for her, and how I needed a little of both for myself. All right, so I did finish both sides of my face. You saw where I did Tiara's under eyes differently than mine. We do have different under eye. All under eyes are definitely not created equal, and I didn't even touch base on all the under eyes there is. But I hope that this tutorial helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions, you can comment them below, or if you ever need me, you can reach me. You can go to the email fitmissionmakeup@gmail.com. But always follow me on Instagram, jocelyn.mcclellan. I am live on Facebook on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Fit Mission Makeup with Jocelyn McClellan, and I'm here on YouTube where you can like all the things and subscribe. Okay, have a great day. We'll talk to you later.